Yo, what's going on? How you guys doing? You back for another Perkins Talks. How are y'all doing? I'm not. Now that I got your attention just for yelling and all those crazy antics. I want to talk to y'all about loneliness. So I've already talked about this issue before in a video. So I guess you could say that this is part two of loneliness. Um, one of the biggest things, and sorry if it sounds like I'm repeating myself, um, but one of the things just about loneliness, you go through isolation, right? And sometimes you put yourself in that position. Sometimes it just feels like you're just in isolation. Um, but usually, because whenever you're lonely, um, a lot of times you tend to draw back from people. You tend to draw back from the crowds, from everything, from all of that. You tend to just draw back completely. And yeah, it's a bad thing, obviously, because the fact of the matter is that whenever you're struggling with this loneliness, um, it's always important to surround yourself around people, Um, back when I was in New York, I love saying that, right? Back when I was in New York. But seriously, back when I was in New York, um, I did feel alone. Even in New York, I felt alone, Everybody always says, Charles, you got a lot of friends. But I never really hanged out with them like that. I never really had the opportunity just to say, hey man, let's go get this, let's go do that, And partially it was because of my fault, because I was always working and stuff like that. So, hey, listen, bills got to get paid, right? So, but it's just the fact of um, us needing to always be surrounded by people, and that's the problem. That's always going to be the problem, where we're going to feel that we need to be surrounded by folks, just to feel whatever, just to feel a sense of worth, Um, so that's really the bad part about it. But it really, in all reality, I would just tell you, if you're going through loneliness, just know that you're number one. You're not alone in that battle, because different people, they always would feel almost the same way you feel, even though they don't express that they feel the same way you feel. But whenever you are going through loneliness, pray, open up the Bible, read something. I don't know, man. Um, like I was telling one of my friends, is that I was telling her is whenever you have thoughts of like anger, fear, whatever, you need to, no, really anger, not fear, really anger, or whether you're just upset about whatever the case it is, you need to find your vice that will get you through that anger problem, or get you through that angry time, because we all have something that calms us down and soothes us, right? For me, sometimes it's eating. Now, I know that's bad, but sometimes it's eating. Like, whenever I eat something, I'm just like, listen, nobody can bother me right now because I am eating right now, so get out my face. Get out my face, alright? But, or it would be listen to music, whether it be rock music or any other type of music that would just calm me down, just like a babbling brook, It's like that scene from Bad Boys, right? Woo-sa, even though that part was anger management, but yeah, and even it even comes down to loneliness. Is that you have to surround yourself not with people all the time. No, not with people all the time. But you need to figure out how you can release the loneliness so you won't feel lonely anymore. That's what you need to do. And I'm going to tell you guys this because not there wasn't anyone who really shared this with me, um, or even like videos that I've been watching, um, about people moving to a different state or people going somewhere else, people going somewhere different. Um, if you're going to move to a different state, you got to realize is that you're going to be alone. You're going to it's going to feel different, until you've adjusted in that place, until you've adjusted your time in that place, until you've met people around that time, around that area. It's going to feel lonely. It's going to feel like isolation. It's going to feel like you're going to have that feeling of wanting to go back to where you used to be, because and where you used to be was a little better than where you are right now. But don't quit. Get adjusted to where you are. And that's how I think that that's an important message. It's just that getting adjusted to where you are in life, right? So there will be times where you're getting adjusted to new situations, new problems, new everything. Get adjusted to that. Don't just to give up just because now something is different now. Don't want to give up on that. Get adjusted to what's happening in that moment. Whatever problem that you're facing, get adjusted to that. Whatever season you're in. That's because we Christians, we like to call it a season, right? Because season's only supposed to last a certain time, right? So you need to get to that season where it's just like, you know what? I'm going to get adjusted to this. I'm not going to stay comfortable in this season, but I'm going to get adjusted to this for right now, because right now I'm going through a season of loneliness. I'm going through a season where I'm going to be isolated, where I'm going to pull out from different people, where I'm going to separate myself from different people. And even if you just move to a new area, you've separated yourself from your family, you separated yourself from friends, you separated yourself from the normal life. So you have to get adjusted to that life. And the life is that the one that's away from everything else, the one that's away from the family, the one that's away from the friends, the one that's just by yourself. And if it becomes a time where you just need to get with God through that time, get with God. Like, get with God, like, God, I need you. I need you. Just cry out to God. That's how you are able just to make it through. That's how you're able just to pass every test in life. That's how. Get adjusted to where you are in life. Get adjusted to that season. Get adjusted to that certain time right now, so that you can be able to overcome that. You can be able just to say, you know what? I made it through. I made it through. It was raining, it was storming, it was snowing, but I made it through. I made it through. So if you're lonely, if you're dealing with loneliness, just know that it's just a season of time. But once again, you have to find your vice to get away from the loneliness. And if you always think that you're lonely, guess what? You're going to be lonely all the time. But just know that if you're surrounded just by nature in itself, you're surrounded by animals, you're surrounded by squirrels, you're surrounded by whatever, your dog, you're not alone. There's things around you. There's things around you that you just got to get accustomed to that. Another part that I want to talk about is isolation. You should never isolate yourself away from people. Solitary confinement, right? Prison. Solitary confinement is when you've done something, when the person in prison, hopefully I'm saying this right. So when the person in prison has done something bad, they got to go into solitary confinement. They got to go into isolation. So through that period of time, it's to break their spirit. It's to break them down, basically. When you're being isolated, you know what happens? You gotta start going through a series of depression. You start going through a series of loneliness. You're gonna start going through a series of sadness. You start going through a series where you're just like, man, everything in life happens to me, and I don't know what to do. So that's so you can't go through isolation. You just gotta let that go, you know? And don't always think about your problems. Don't always focus on your situation that you are in now. Always focus that it's going to be different. Always focus that there's something better out there. That your breakthrough is going to come. Your season of highs is going to come. But get accustomed to the season of low. Get accustomed to the season of isolation. Get accustomed to the season of loneliness. And just welcome it. Just say, hey, lonely, how you doing? You good? Come on over. Come on over. Let's go. I've been waiting for you. Let's go, Poppy. Let's go. You know, get accustomed to that. Get accustomed to that. And just know, like I said before, just know that better days are ahead. Better days are ahead. Better days are ahead. That's all you got to keep on repeating yourself. Better days are ahead. Better days are ahead. Come on, family, let's eat. Come on. That's my phrase for this year. Let's eat. Now, it's not, let me explain the phrase. It's not a phrase of talking about food when it's saying let's eat. It's really a phrase on grinding, you know. Whenever you're going through, because there's going to be times that you're going to have to grind in life, you know. Whatever you want so bad, you're going to have to grind just to get it. So let's eat. That's what that's about. You know, in order to have money in your hand, you gotta grind for it. You gotta grind at that job. You gotta grind just to find a better job. You gotta eat. And fam, let's eat. Let's eat. Let's eat. Let's go. Let's go. Perkins Talks. I'm out, y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Grace and peace to everybody. All right. Take care, y'all. I'll see y'all next time.